coming in as you see the plane just coming right out of the screen there. I just cannot wait as we are moving our way into match number 4 for the day.
Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting plane path.
This plane path going over the canal right north of military base. This is going to make it really interesting coming in with these first couple of drops. Again, we talked about it. These are kind of voted in players. These aren't consistent teams. So with this, new strategies are going to have to play. And when you get a plane path like this, trying to capitalize off of it and figure out where the safe place to drop is going to be mind-boggling hard.
And for teams like South Korea and Vietnam who like to go to the northern half of the map, this presents a challenge. You don't want to get caught out trying to get vehicles early on. You cannot lose a member here.
Looks like USA is choosing to go back down towards the military base. That's been a reoccurring theme, as well as, I have to say, mean plane paths into cruel circles. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some nice, crazy rotations having to come in fairly early. Also, something to keep an eye on is a couple of these teams might be hunting down a couple of points and be a little bit more active towards the early stages of the game.
Yeah, it seems like aggression is paying off. The kill points are really what are doing it for these top teams. They're really getting it done on the backs of taking fights and winning them. And this guy right here, Uba, is absolutely on fire today.
He has had an amazing series. Today specifically, he has just been absolutely showing up. A couple of long-range shots coming in there, all right. So circle. Where are we going? Are we going up next to Georgia Pole, Stolber? That's the way I'm looking at it right now. It always seems to go that way. No, okay.
Wow.
Pretty comfortable plane path, but now the big choice for these teams is, do they go towards Military Base Island? Do they go north or south? Because that is going to be a big factor.
Most of this circle is in the north, so usually when you have this situation where you've got Sosnovka Island kind of on the bottom edge of the circle, you're talking maybe 60-65% that it stays north. Not as likely that it goes south, but it absolutely can. So what do? Do you do a 2-2 split across the bridge? Do you do something like that? I've seen that from teams, but you have to hedge your bets, but sometimes you also got to roll the dice.
There's our boys from Canada making the push back over there. You can see a little bit behind Korea right now, but a couple of good games. We have seen 16 kill games inside of this event so far. Naturally, couple that in with the super settings and getting your 10 points for your victory. You can catch up to Korea at this stage. They were getting that lead, but that last game really kind of threw a wrench into what was going down.
Yeah, they're still in it. They're 100%
I mean, they're
still
in first right now.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry. Of course. But, you know, they're ahead, but these other teams are scary good. And what are you going to do? You know, if you have a situation where this goes Sosnovka Island again, and you're Korea, you got to find an answer for this. The 2 times we've gone to Sosnovka Island, you've basically been blown out of the water.
China has dropped and is going back over towards shelter. We don't usually see this get a lot of attention in competitive. So a nice little modification coming into play. I would venture to say has something to do with the plane path that we saw. So with this, they know that they've got a little bit of a safe place to play at. Where's Summer hiding up at? Okay, he's just on the outside of this, just controlling around. Probably he's going to be their man that's going to feed over any information if anybody's driving around the location. But I wouldn't be surprised nobody's going to mess with them down.
No, I think they're pretty well okay here for now. The Aussies might have to cross their paths as well as Brazil rotating into this circle, depending on how it plays out. I find it kind of interesting that Vietnam has gone to Lipovka. Normally they're a Severny team, but because of this plane path, they ended up, and because of the circle as well, they're going to have to go to Lipovka. We'll see how that plays out for them because they're a team that is still in it as well. You can see they have 89 points right now. Not super far behind Korea. It's not undoable.
Here we are looking at Turkey with Sixmo. Rest of the team here following back behind him. A beautiful death as well as Mert and Iro. But it looks like Finland's looking back over towards Australia, taking a couple of shots off of it. But Jimty is just waiting, being patient. Zoidmate does get dropped. Mixie hits a nice shot and goes ahead and follows that up. Going to take him down. And instantly moving back over the motorcycle. That's just a kill and get out. Appreciate the points. Actually, a push back down to one side of this. This looks like they might be separating out and going for those early points we were talking about.
Yeah, I think Finland really needs to get aggressive. It has been the name of their game. It's what I think would play to their strong suit as Slayers. Here you can see they're rolling up. Maxi's getting in on it. Does not land the shots onto Luke.
So with this, you can see Luke is on full damage control right now, just trying to peek back behind that corner. Mixie's doing the push onto one side of it. Meanwhile, Samty's going around to the other side. You can see the rest of Finland is just showing up right now. Luke, what can you do inside of this situation? You are in a world of trouble as grenades are just raining down. That was a little bit of an interesting one going up and over the top of it. But now Luke has a very strong angle he's played. Hold the side of it, trying to get some damage off. Does manage to go down inside of it. The follow-up goes through. Lots of damage back on both sides. But let's be real, Luke, you're a dead man.
It looks like the other 2 members of Australia are not going to try to follow up on this. I could see Vasily and Insight are still over in the school in the apartments, so you can see them right now. They are opting to get out of here. I think this is the wise play. You've already lost 2 members to this really aggressive Finland push, and I like this by Finland. Clearly they went back after a match and saw a pattern in Australia in a way they could capitalize onto this and get these picks.
This is more of what we were expecting from Finland. They've been having a rough, I would say, 3 days at this point. They haven't necessarily had the best of showings, but more life today. Problem with it is, it just feels like it's way too late to be influential.
Yeah, at this point, they're pretty much, you know, they're not out of maybe jumping a lot of spots, but there's no way they're in competition.
They don't want to be last is the thing right now. I mean, we keep talking about the top of the leaderboard and who's going to win it, but nobody wants to be the country that comes in last. National pride will be very hurt in this situation. And oh my God, Brazil. Always finding somebody inside of rotations. RDX taking a lot of damage there. So how is he going to make it away from it? Yeah, he's going to make it back down the hillside. Should be pretty okay as China just manages to scare him quite a bit.
Yeah, RDNX is acting as the scout here forward with that motorcycle, a really useful tool when you're doing recon. And like I said earlier, China was already set up to put up picks on these teams that are trying to rotate in through the north. That forces Brazil to back off and reassess how they want to approach the circle.
A little bit of scouting going on, as you can see where everybody is set up right now. Korea made their way over towards Georgia Pole. You can see Turkey is already on the move back over towards the west, but just about everybody else is inside the circle as of right now. USA is still opting back down towards military base and being the only team to do so at the time.
Yeah, they're being cautious here. They're hedging their bets, and I think this makes sense because they dropped the military base. They can benefit the most if this does indeed end up going south. Russia's up on the northern end of the bridge as well. Not really in a gatekeeping position or a bridge camp position, but they could prove difficult to rotate through if the circle does go north.
Man, Finland has been on the move. Keep in mind, we just saw them hunting down a couple of people, now making their way back over towards Pachinki. Canada looks like they're going to play the hill just towards the south of it, and that's a very interesting spot because you can catch a lot of people in rotation, depending on how these circles play out. They've got the fields that are around it, and it's a very strong position to play from just in general because you yourself can rotate out in several different directions.
But you could get so much recon from that position.
My God.
You could see so much of the map. A lot of times you'll see teams from Pachinki go there pretty quickly in circles like this, but because Finland went up to fight Australia early, this allowed Canada to take this advantageous position.
China takes a couple of shots back over towards United Kingdom. Looks like Bard's going to be on the receiving end of that. Going to take nothing too terribly scary right now, but Germany looking back over towards, looks like it's going to be SR over there who doesn't even know what's going on. Damage is going to come through, but the down is not going to happen as he's managed to make it back behind that tree.
Some ducking and diving there by SR to get out of the way relatively unscathed. He took a little bit of damage, but nothing critical there, so it looks like he's going to kind of get out of here. You know, Chinese Taipei is a team that was playing really, really well the first 2 days, but so far today, Matrim, not much going on there.
Milk has had some phenomenal plays. That motorcycle jump onto the top of the building to get those kills off, my lord, it's been phenomenal from him. But here we go, Brazil on the move, looking where they want to go. Looks like Japan might be opting into a similar position. Depp has had himself a couple of nice kills so far today, but Idil's just going to play the lower part of the hill and just actually cut right in between what could be a very dangerous situation. Is Japan going to have the angle back over towards us as Rogi does stop right over here at this Wizard Tower, getting a little bit more information for his teammates and forces it back inside there. Rogi just gets dropped though.
Depp with some excellent shooting there with the SLR. Drops Rogi, looking to do some more work. Shooting at Andy FPS, but nothing really landing there as the other members of Brazil are forced to get out of this situation.
There's nowhere for them to go, really. They can potentially make it back over towards farm, but there's going to be a lot of people that have sight lines back towards them. Rusty Zero's just trying to make it back down the hillside. Circle has popped, and it opts up towards the north. Everybody that's centered up around that location is in a very favorable position, but you can see everybody on the outside is in a world of trouble.
I mean, this is a really difficult situation. This is about the worst circle possible for USA. They are going to have an interesting time doing this. It looks like they're heading east now. I'm not so sure about that. Taipei, though, is in the circle. They dropped Milta, so they've opted to post up on the western edge. Now you got Brexco trying to take some shots at them as Leo's getting in his UAS, but it looks like he's going to be okay.
Oh, no. I don't flip up.
Okay.
It's okay. That's why they have the roll bars across the top, right?
Yeah.
So perfectly fine there. But Finland still on the move, found themselves a new home that they're going to position up at. Kind of looking around, seeing if anybody's going to be rotating around them at the time, but I think that they're pretty okay. They're back towards the western part of this new safe zone. Korea now on the move, going to opt into going up around the northern part of the circle, and this is no surprise. This is the way they like to play things. Slower rotations at the start, gather information after them, make their initial drop, and then kind of figure out where they want to go next. Yep. They like to fight, let's be real, but they like to fight with information, and that's the strong part for it. Meanwhile, Canada having a couple of pot shots thrown their way.
Now it looks like Canada should be relatively okay here. Pretty confident they'll be able to get past Finland here and wrap around. Now in the meanwhile, up north, Korea might be running into Australia, as Australia had to back way off because of pressure from Vietnam here. Now remember, Australia lost 2 members early on, so there are only 2 people left here, and Pio's gonna try to do Pio things, take some shots, but okay, I was wrong, sorry.
Yeah, discretion's a better part of valor sometimes. He does, but that time the trees were in the way, so I mean, if you're a duo at this stage of the game already, it's not like you want to bump into Korea in any form and fashion, so trying to get away from that, no surprise there. So, Korea up towards the north, not a lot of teams really around them, just a couple of pot shots going back and forth between them and the Aussies. The Aussies have to be a little bit cautious, but Japan is still on the move, taking a couple of shots back over towards Leo, I believe. So Dep's on the one side of it, got to be very, very cautious. He's kind of overextended out. Aziz is on the other side of this. I don't think has a sightline for it.
Yeah, this is a really interesting move here by Japan. They're doing a really big 2-2 split here. Not something we've seen from them a lot. Usually they're sticking together as kind of a 4-man and working together, but trying to get a little aggressive here.
Turkey, you might not like where you're going right now. See, Ionix looking back down there, popping out a couple of windows, just trying to see if he's going to maybe hit anything off of it. 6mo still driving around right now. And it looks like Korea's just going to opt into the move, as well as Finland. You can see a lot of these teams already opting into early rotations, hopping inside their vehicles at close to the time that the circle comes down. But here's the problem when you do that. Milk just narrowly dodging out those shots. Does slam himself right into that table, but he should be safe now.
How do you land those shots? That's such long range on a motorcycle. He is so good.
I just don't even question it anymore whenever this happens. Oh, Ribox might find himself in a little bit of trouble as everybody from Finland just dancing around the inside of this building. I do like this little cheeky reposition that he's got, but not a lot of reinforcements from Argentina are in a spot to really help him. But
yeah, it looks like they're trying. It looks like Pome's close enough. He's maybe going to try here. But the other members of Finland have already taken up this position, but I don't know what he can do here without assistance from his team. It's going to be really hard for him to leave this facility unnoticed.
At this point, he just pretends to be a box. He's perfectly fine where he's at. Hopes nobody looks over there. Another fairly centralized circle, going to make a little bit rough for Korea. Still going to have to continue through. Aqua 5 is inside the circle, but USA also going to have a little bit of trouble making their way through, finally leaving military base. Russia's right on the edge of this, but Canada in a good spot. Looking back over towards Potato Mountain, might get a couple of shots over there, but nobody from Finland has any idea that Ribox is here.
Yeah, they did a good job clearing the facility. Of course, you got to check everything when you bomb into it.
Everything.
Not everything. Okay, not everything. Almost everything. And our solid snake player here is just waiting, like you said, be in a box for now.
Look, that yellow jacket's going to show up big for him right now. He just blends in with the crates back behind him. It's like, I'm one with the box. Everything will be fine. Turkey making their rotation back up that hillside. Looks like they might bump into Vietnam if they're not too careful. Nim might have a sight line back over here. And uh-oh, Sapal already going to be in position. This could be bad for Turkey. Spray's going to come through. Jumps back out right in front of Nim. That's going to be one down to get this started. You can see a little bit of position coming up from Beautiful Death, but he's going to go down as well.
Sapal once again with another big kill. Cleans it up, does Nim for them here. And 2 big kills here early on for Vietnam. They are very much still in this. If they can have 2 big rounds, this is a good start for them. Iroh, the lead fragger for Turkey, throwing some smokes, trying to set themselves up a way to get out of this disaster.
Canada's just on the other side of this, and they can hear these shots. Look like they might be going for a little bit of a position. We'll have to see how Iroh makes his way up, because he's right along the side of that, and yep, Luke's going to go ahead and spot him out. Now that's just down to 1, and it's going to be Mert, as it looks like Vietnam's going for a reposition of their own, as a lot of people seem like they want to join the party.
This could be a big moment here for Team Canada. They do get the confirmed kill onto Iroh, but them and Vietnam, both in the top 5 on Potato Mountain here, vying for control of that very valuable real estate. Will they fight over it, or will they wait this one out?
So Mert makes his way down. Looks like he's safe for now. I don't think that anybody from Canada has a sight line for it, but Jimty on a little bit of a move. I think that he saw him making his way down the hillside, so Mert might not be alive for too much longer. Meanwhile, United Kingdom's woes continue as they get into a fight with Japan. It's a little bit of a back and forth exchange right now, but is he going to be able to spot out far? Gets the shots back over towards it, and there you go. United Kingdom is eliminated first.
That was quick, but Korea also has the angle here. You can see Pio out on the far edge of your screen, trying to get some shots onto Gaba, but not much damage being done there. Gaba's going to try to get into this Dacia and get out of here, and Pio's not able to get those mini 14 shots to connect.
That's a very rare situation, but he is managing to connect back over onto the car, doing a ton of damage. Japan just has to abandon it, trying to make their way up the hillside, and narrowly survives Pio.
It's okay, that fire doesn't hurt, so he can lay down, heal up here, but there's only a couple members left here for Japan. They got in the crossfire.
And they lost all their vehicles. That's a big problem moving into these rotations as Korea is unrelenting. Are they just going to continue and follow through with this? They know they have the potential to get the kills off of it. So slow and steady on the hunt. New circle does pop. Got a couple of Korean members inside of it. Really favors China right in the middle of it, as well as Thailand, Germany, Argentina, Finland, and Canada.
Yeah, it looks like Japan has managed to find a vehicle, so they are able to escape. Anonix was creeping up on them there. That's what Anonix and Pio like to do. They're able to
reinforcements
out on their own. Oh my
Argentina's finally coming through. Ribox is getting some damage off. Gets the down and the flush onto Jimty. Looking back on the other side of Mixie's coming down, and he's going to get the down onto Ribox. But here it comes everybody from Argentina.
Argentina did end up coming through. It took a while, but now they're here, but they lost their teammate in the process. Fight looks to slow down, but Leo gets taken down by Canada.
Drassel just saves Maluk's life right there. Nice shots coming out from that gunmate. I think he should be able to get the res pretty easily. Looks like Argentina did the damage that they wanted to do and now making their way out of this, but there's nowhere really easily for them to rotate out towards. Chinese Taipei looks like they're still wanting to make their way up this hillside. Moody, again, in that overwatch position, trying to provide a little bit of cover. Gonna get the down onto Drassel. That's really big. Now it's just on to K-Mine, and Moody looking back over towards Taipei, trying to figure out what they're gonna do here.
Gets a couple big shots onto Chaiwei there, but Chaiwei has to back off because of that. Drassel's still knocked. We'll see if they can find a way to get this rest, because Drassel is way out there on an island. K-Mine trying to provide shots on Milk, but no! Milk gets the headshot.
That is absolutely huge. Remember, this is our third place team right now, already down to just one member. What is Moody gonna do? He realizes it's too dangerous. He has to stay alive. He needs those survival points. Meanwhile, look at the flood of people just charging up there. They want these points.
Taipei playing the spoilers here, taking Canada down 2 members already. It looks like, yes indeed, K-Mine does get taken down as well. This is disastrous for Canada. They needed to find a way to get some big points in this match to stay in this, and it looks like they might be in a desperate situation.
Don't worry, Sharky. No one saw the fact that you probably just flipped a motorcycle in there. Oh, and there we go. Australia's insight gets taken down, and now their whole team is eliminated. So looking back over towards this, Moody's making his way down the hillside. Remember, just a solo by himself right now. Russia, meanwhile, in a good position. Kind of got a good sight line back over towards this, and I believe that the reses did come back up, and yep, Sharky's back for USA. So on the motorcycle there, always dangerous vehicles, those motorcycles.
Still a big game as well for Thailand. They're very much in this. You can see them set up on this hill to the north of Russia here. And, you know, they really need to do something today. They played so well coming into today. And it hasn't just been Duckmans, it's been a lot of Duckmans, let's be honest. But Shibi, Minoro, the other guys, Tanawat, they've been quite good as well. And when their teamwork is on point, they're one of the scariest teams we have.
I mean, we keep talking about Korea, Russia, Canada, because they're the top 3 right now. But Vietnam and Thailand are still in striking distance. If they have 2 really good games, which these teams can do, that can move them up into those good money positions as well. I mean, we talk about money, but let's be real. A lot of this is national pride for a lot of these guys that are playing inside of it. They want to be considered the best country in PUBG in the world.
100%. You want to put your region on the map. You want to put your country on the map going into the Global Championship later this year. And we'll see who will end up coming out on top today. Thailand definitely still in it. Vietnam as well. 100% still in this, but we got a battle breaking out between Russia and America.
Russia's taking a couple of shots back over towards them. New circle does pop. Going to be to the north where we're watching this present fight at, and that's one of the reasons why North America's going to go ahead and start making a push back over towards this. A lot of damage coming out for Russia. Sharky does go down again, narrowly making it back over that hillside. Zampa's just trying to get away. Bellier loses his vehicle and takes a ton of damage off of this. Looks like they're just going to try to regroup group down in this little divot and hope that they can survive this, but that is a lot of damage, and Russia just has a sightline on them.
And now Finland's trying to capitalize on this. You can see Mexi coming up on USA's flank. They are completely surrounded in this gully. In fact, it's Argentina as well getting in on this. Valley 8 is down.
One grenade coming up from Mixi. This could be it. USA is going to take a world of hurt here, and there we go. They lose everything off of it. USA is out.
What a great grenade from Mexi, but USA caught between a literal rock and hard place. They go down, but now Mexi's getting shot by Stilson from Argentina.
Argentina has a great sight line, really high up along this. We constantly talk about this as Death Road. If you're along this road on the northern part of it, it just continues on, and you have a great sight line back down into this valley where so much death could occur. Russia, though, slowly starting to make their way back over there. Remember, they were taking a couple of shots back over towards Finland as well. They still have time to the north of them, but can manage to get right on the edge of it. Meanwhile, China capitalizing on those beautiful sight lines as Brazil does lose one of their members there. Looks like pretty quick flush going to come out as well. So now Russia kind of being gate-kept out right now.
China doing a great job here defending this ridge from Brazil. This is such a difficult position for Brazil to be in. You've got the low ground. Yes, you have some smokes for cover for now, but those only last so long. And here we go. Andy is going to try to push up here, but back over to Russia, who is going to be getting engaged in a huge battle with Thailand soon.
Brazil is trying to make the push back over towards China, but they are just not going to allow it. Rusty Zero's way back in that line, trying to figure out how do I even breach this. There is absolutely nowhere to go. He has got to hit a down. He has to find some type of opening in this defense that China has set up, but he just does not have any type of clear sight line.
Yeah, there's just not much they can do there, but Kane's getting over in on this as well, putting a few pot shots over into China there, not really connecting with anything, backing off. Uba taking some damage in transition, but Rusty Zera is all but dead here.
I mean, he's out inside the blue. This thing's going to hit for a ton. Looking back over towards Summer, maybe he can get something out of this, but doesn't connect with it. Maybe the grenade. At this point, he's as good as dead as Korea is now coming up back behind this. They hear this fight, and they want to get involved. That's the whole thing in this position. You want to get in those third parties. So the longer Rusty Zera actually survives is just going to set up Korea to get in a great spot to actually start tearing apart China there.
That grenade barely almost didn't take it down, but there it is. Summer goes down with a great grenade from Inonix. Korea pushing in here on the Chinese players.
As well as Germany. Right now, China is pincered between two different teams. Korea stepping back onto this, realizing, okay, we don't want to go into this yet. We want to go for a position towards the circle, so goes back towards their play points. Meanwhile, it's Chris right up in the face of China, but how is he going to disengage from this? You can see Germany has the inside track on defense, but China can use the high ground to their advantage and just play along the road.
This is really interesting. Korea has backed off of this fight with China and Germany, opting to play safe. They want to go for points. They want to get every precious point they can to secure their first place.
So Germany's going to go ahead and pull back off of this, separate out a little bit more. Still in the information gathering process, trying to find those good positions to play at. Meanwhile, Chai Wei is looking back down towards this, a little bit of separation coming through. Argentina is in a good spot, but you can see a lot of people starting to try and make the push back up this hillside. Russia looks like they might be thinking about trying to take this territory. Korea's kind of separating out just a little bit, but might bump into SR or Milk at any second now.
Yeah, they're closing up on Potato Mountain here. The three members, of Chinese Taipei set up on the top here, but the blue is coming in and they're getting forced out. Pio trying to do some damage. Not much going. Chai Wei gets taken down. What an insane play by Pio.
Pio is just turning up at this event. Chinese Taipei has nowhere to go, but here we go. Grenade's gonna pop off, take down Pio. Now what's Korea gonna do? The blues coming in back behind them. I don't think that they're gonna be able to get over towards them. So now Aqua 5 is thinking about it, but can he make it in time to get this res? Narrowly gets it.
Oh my God, are they gonna pull this off? SR is prone down. The other members of Korea trying to buy as much time as they can. Milk looking over the wrong side. There's nobody over there from Korea yet.
He got it. He got the res back over towards Pio, and look at this. Korea's looking on these angles, trying to figure out, okay, how do we go off of this? Narrowly pushing right ahead of the blue, trying to find those angles for it, but it's kind of vulnerable off these sides. Everybody has sight lines back behind them, looking back down towards China. Meanwhile, SR realizes they need to go back into the circle themselves. A couple of shots going out, gonna push them away. Korea looks like they decided to separate out and actually play two different angles. They have to be careful about this because that makes them extremely vulnerable.
It's a vulnerable hill, but nice headshot there from Inonix onto Godby as they're pushing over towards China up on their left-hand flank. Meanwhile, on their right, gets Loki and PO. December 12th trying to return the favor on Aqua 5, not able to get the knock.
Somehow Korea is still alive through this. PO's looking back towards this. Loki's taking a little bit of damage. Gonna just go ahead and huddle back down behind this tree. But PO has some people in the sights, and this guy is never afraid to fight. But look at Milk. He's in a great sneaky little position off to the side. As he could pop up at any given second and do so much damage to Korea.
Oh no, PO gets knocked here by Mad98. So 2 members down here for Korea. Will Chinese Taipei opt to try to capital on this? For now, it seems like they're content to just lay down and try to wait this out. But SR got knocked. Milk gets the kill here.
Steps up, takes the shot, perfectly fine with it, retreating back. And now Korea is in a world of trouble. Just down to 2. Milk looks like he's thinking about going back over towards this. Does he want to make the push back into this smoke? He's playing along the outside of it. At this point, it's just listening for footsteps, trying to figure out where to go. Korea hears him move in, but the shots come out from Milk, and there we go. Korea is out.
Milk playing the spoiler here, taking down Team Korea in 8th place. A big play there from Milk.
Now we've got Russia making the push back over towards this. Gonna go ahead and throw the grenade out. Is he gonna be aware of it? He managed to get the reposition on the outside of this. So Uba, we've talked about this guy can murder, but don't forget about Duckman's repositions now starting to come out. Flanks around both sides of it. Gotta be very, very cautious on this push.
This is a huge fight here. Tanawatt does have that AUG, but Uba is trying to get onto him with that AK here. Aduzi did get knocked by Minoru early in the fight. Meanwhile, Uba's gonna have to heal up himself while they try to get the res onto the last member of their team.
So Duckmans is not in the position to provide a lot of support from his angle, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him reposition in just a second. Russia's slowly being funneled off the side of it. Finally, Duckmans gets the line of sight. That's why you got to be afraid of this guy. Goes for the shots back over towards it and gets another one.
And you can hear the crowd getting excited. They want Russia to go down. They are the most dangerous threat to Korea right now. Once again, we're trying to get the res on the members of Team Russia. It looks like they will pull it off once again. Duckman's looking to try to see if he can pick off another member.
Duckman's realizing it's a little bit dangerous to go for that same peak after he got multiple downs from it. Gonna go ahead and go for a reposition off of it. Russia slowly creeping forward, but they've taken so much damage. Minoru's up on the side of this. Grenade's gonna come out, get another down onto Russia. They are just having to chain res as they make this push.
That was a Doozy's grenade that got Seiya there. Disaster here for the Russian team. Look at Duckman.
Oh my God!
Down.
Goes up, tries to go for the play onto it, but Russia finally does make it inside the building, but at what cost?
All right, Uba trying to defend this. A nice spray with that AK. Is he going to get another one? No. He only has one point, but they're all down. Russia takes out Thailand.
That is absolutely huge. Somehow, Russia managing to cling to life. The new circle has popped, but you can see, not inside the circle, so Russia's still going to have to continue up towards the north. We have Vietnam looking back over towards Germany, but Germany still has 4 members up.
This is huge here for Russia. They will be closing the gap onto Korea with this game. Now, can they finish this one off? They have a full German squad left. Argentina, and let's not forget about Vietnam.
Grenades are starting to roll out. I think that Levis might be fine off of this. So, oh, it was a smoke grenade that dropped next to him. I just got too excited. I was hoping that was going to be a frag grenade there. So, Vietnam just trying to get a little bit more information on what's going down around him. Already at 6 kills, Germany has been very quietly dominant back over towards this side of the circle.
Yeah, they've been doing a great job maintaining the eastern control here, looking to see what's going on with these smokes up by Vietnam. You can see Brexco looking up there. Aduzi has repositioned himself, pushing up forward towards Argentina's position and getting themselves in the circle.
Vietnam has eyes back over towards Germany, but it's going to be Russia again that forces him back around, and Basil has to be ridiculously careful. This reposition coming out from Russia is very, very strong at this stage. They seem like they have an idea on where a lot of these fights are happening at. They've been listening to the third party, trying to figure out how they can get involved in it, because naturally, Russia wants to stack as many points as possible. They know Korea is out right now. This is their opportunity.
And you can see that Seiya has that Mark 14 sniper rifle, which means they have picked up that level 3 utility for themselves as well, giving them an even stronger position going into these last couple circles.
So Russia slowly creeping along these angles, perfectly content back down towards the south. Meanwhile, Germany looking back over towards Vietnam, taking a couple of shots off from this. Levis, I don't know if you want to go for this res right now. Basil's like, hey, res me, bro. It's perfect. Safe res. Safe res. It's fine. It's fine.
It's all good.
All right, so here you go. We're looking back down towards the center of the circle. So that's going to be where all the action's going to be being pushed to, slowly funneling back over towards this, as now looks like finally Russia and Germany are looking back towards each other. Gonna have to figure out how this goes. Argentina shows up big, though, and gets the down onto 2.
Levi's is just hanging out in the blue. He knows he's dead to rights. Doesn't want to get those kills. Confirm the kills here for Argentina.
Now we've got Germany still sitting on 4-man strong. Now I say that right as soon as a couple of downs go through. Russia's found the angle. Uba is a beast right now.
Uba is going absolutely bonkers today. They did lose 2 members though, so there's only 2 here left for Russia. They have to fight through Argentina and Germany to get to the center of the circle, and Uba is the last member standing here.
Pome is just trying so valiantly to hold this angle. Everything hinges on him right now. He is right in the middle of all of the action. Looking back over towards Germany, he sees his down teammate. It's as good as dead at this point. Uba now realizing where Germany is at. This guy has had a phenomenal day. Can he find the angle? Everybody's focused back down towards Pome right now. I don't know if Germany is watching this angle.
Yeah, Germany, I'm not sure if they're aware that Uba's coming up on here. Chris and Kate are thoroughly focused on Argentina.
Slowly creeping up back behind this. It's Chris will be the first person he has sight lines on. Argentina is still drawing their attention. Uba gets the down onto one, but does not spot out the other one. Pome is actually turning the damage back over towards Uba. He's just trying to survive. Drops to his belly, just trying to buy a little bit more space.
It's Uba so dangerously low here, but Pome is fighting Germany. Kate gets him. Can Uba clutch this? It's a 1v1 it looks like here.
So now we've got Kate on one side of it. Both guys have been damaged. Uba does manage to get his meds up. He heard where the shots come through. He is just hunting right now. Kate's just trying to get something out of this. He has the angle for it. Who's going to spot out whom with the headshots off of this? Kate's just listening to footsteps. Does hear it. Gets the damage off. And that's going to be Germany walking away with the round win.
Uba almost clutched it. He was so close for Russia. What a performance by them. But Germany ends up coming out. Huge moment there for Kate getting those shots.
Oh my God. Nations Cup is just absolutely fire right now.